Welcome to another episode of Tutorials with Ike. My name is Isaac Osafo Jr., the Vice President for the Association of Business Administration Students at UPSA. Today, we're going to be looking at elasticity of demand and the economics for business. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends. Alright, let's get straight into today's topic, elasticity of demand. So in the last video, we looked at demand and supply. So if you've not watched that particular video, do well to go and watch it. So we spoke about demand, what it means. In case a question comes on just demand and supply. But now we are going to look at elasticity. Elasticity of demand. Now, when we talk about elasticity of demand, so elasticity of demand. So elasticity of demand. Now, under elasticity of demand, there are three things you are going to look at. You are going to look at the price elasticity of demand, or the own price elasticity of demand. You're going to look at cross price elasticity of demand. Then finally, we'll look at income elasticity of demand. Now, we'll first start with price elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand. Now, what is price elasticity of demand? Price elasticity of demand just tells us how people are going to react to a commodity in case the price changes. That's all. So the degree. If let's say right now your favorite drink is maybe Calipo and you buy it at, let's say, 2 cedi. Even though Calipo is your favorite drink, when you go to the shop and they tell you that it's no more 2 cedi, but it's now 20 cedis, you're not going to buy it. You get it? Maybe only a few people will buy it, those who are very rich or those who are like addicted to it. But a lot of people will stop buying, you get it? But then we want to know the percentage, the number of people that are going to stop buying, you get it? So that's price elasticity of demand. So price elasticity of demand just tells us that when the price of a commodity change, what is going to happen to the quantity demanded? Are people going to buy more? Are people going to buy less and all that? Do you get it? And even if people are going to buy less, how many are they? So we want to see the actual percentage of the people that are not going to buy. Do you get it? So that's for price elasticity of demand. Now, under price elasticity of demand, there are 5 things we look at. The first one is elastic. The second one is inelastic. Then the third one is unitary elastic. Then the fourth one, let me write it here, is perfectly elastic. Then the fifth one is perfectly inelastic. So under price elasticity of demand, there are 5 types, or for every commodity, there are 5 types. So we have elastic, inelastic, unitary elastic, perfectly elastic, and perfectly inelastic. So when you solve for the price elasticity of demand of a product, that's when you are going to know if it's either elastic, inelastic, unitary elastic, or perfectly elastic. Now let me explain all of them. Before I even explain it, now if you solve for the price elasticity of demand, whatever you get, if it is greater than 1, then it is elastic. If it is less than 1, it is inelastic. If it is equal to 1, it is unitary elastic. If it is infinity, it is perfectly elastic. And if it is equal to 0, it is perfectly inelastic. You are not usually going to get something that is perfectly elastic and perfectly inelastic. Usually it's only elastic and inelastic. Hardly will you get one under perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, and even unitary elastic. But then you might just want to know it in case of anything. Section A and all that. So now if after we solve for this, if you get any value that is greater than 1, like this one, anything that is greater than 1, just know it's elastic. And in price elasticity of demand, now please pay attention to this. A lot of people forget this. Anytime you solve for price elasticity of demand, I'll teach you how to solve it, so don't worry if you don't know how to solve it. I'll explain everything to you step by step. But anytime you solve for elasticity of demand and you get a negative, you change it to positive. What I'm trying to say is that for price elasticity of demand, we only take the absolute values. Don't forget, we only take the absolute values. So if you get -5, it means it's going to be 5. If you get -100, it's going to be 100. There are no negative values, you get it? You are going to get a negative, but when you get a negative, you take the absolute value. So you are going to take the positive one, you get it, always. So under this, you don't get any negative value. All right, so now let's start with the explanations. Now when we say elastic, a good is elastic, it means that when you change the price of a commodity a little, a lot of people stop buying it. Do you get it? So if you increase the price a little, a lot of people stop buying it. Do you get it? If you also reduce the price a little, a lot of people start buying it. So a small change in price leads to a greater change in the quantity demanded. So if, let's say, you are selling the good for 5 cedis, right? Now later on, when you, let's say, change the price to, let's say, 7 cedis, people stop buying. You get a lot of people stop buying. That's how it is. And usually elastic goods are goods that have, let's say, a lot of substitutes. Let me give you an example. If right now I'm going to buy milk, right? And let's say ideal milk is 5 cedi. I know that it's 5 cedi. I go there and they're telling me it's 7 cedi. And the company also has a different type of milk. Let's say peak milk or any other milk that is, let's say, 5 cedi as well. I'll obviously not buy the ideal milk. I'll go for peak because it's cheaper. You get it? So those goods, when they change the price a little, a lot of people stop buying. You get it? So that's the explanation for the elastic. So a small change in price leads to a higher change in quantity demanded. When you change the price a little, a lot of people stop buying it. Now let's go to inelastic. Now inelastic is like the opposite. So for inelastic, when you change the price, some people might not buy it, but there are only few. So this one like this, let's say the price was 5 cedi and later on you change it to 7 cedi. Maybe some few people will stop buying it, but very, 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 very few. Lots of people are still going to buy it. You get it? So for inelastic, people don't really care about the price. Just, I mean, very few people. But for elastic, once you change the price a little, then people stop buying. Do you get it? So for inelastic, when you change the price, people still buy it. Now let's go to unitary elastic. Unitary elastic means that when there's a change in price by, let's say, 5%, so the price increases by 5%, then the quantity demanded also reduces by 5%. So it's the same. Do you get it? If you also reduce price by 10%, people start buying. I mean, the law of demand says that the higher the price of the commodity, the lower the quantity demanded, and vice versa. So obviously, when the price goes up, the quantity demanded is going to reduce. Do you get it? So for unitary elastic, we are saying that when the price goes up, you get it? When the price goes up by, let's say, 10%, the quantity demanded is going to reduce by 10% exactly. And it's not really realistic. So you are not usually going to get something like unitary elastic, but then you might just want to know in case of anything. Now let's go to perfectly elastic. Perfectly elastic means that consumers only buy the product at one particular price. So if, let's say, you're buying it at 5 cedis, even if you change it to 5.1 cedis, if you even add 10 pesos or 50 pesos, people will stop buying. Do you get it? I mean, they don't even want to see a change at all. So there are some goods that they never change the price for like 5 years now, 6 years now. They never change the price because when you increase it a little, people will stop buying. Do you get it? So the difference between the perfectly elastic and the elastic is that for the elastic, people stop buying when you change the price. But then that one, if like you change the price so much, let's say it was 5 cedis and change it to 7 cedis, that's when people are like, oh, it's too much. But for the perfectly elastic, even if you change it a little, by even 10 pesos or 50 pesos, then they stop buying because there are lots of substitutes, like so many. You get it? For elastic, there might be substitute, but there are not so many. So maybe before they'll get another type, they'll have to take some time and all that. But for perfectly elastic, there are so many. So even if you change it by 10 pesos or 50 pesos, people stop buying. Do you get it? So that's for perfectly elastic. And lastly, for perfectly inelastic, it means that people buy the products no matter the price. Do you get it? If it's 5 cedis, change it to 100 cedis, people will still buy. And an example is, let's say, water. Water is a necessity. Do you get it? You can't live without water. If, let's say, right now you are dying and they come to you that even pure water is 1,000 cedis, can you say you will not buy it? You buy it because it's a necessity. You get it? So I mean, things like healthcare, water, and others, they fall under perfectly inelastic because they are necessities. You get it? So no matter the price, you are going to buy it. So that's the explanation for all this. I just wanted you to understand this before we even start solving. So now that you've understood the price elasticity of demand, let's start solving the question. All right, so now let's solve the question we have. So this question is a child question, and last year they gave it to us as child questions as well. And fortunately, it came in the exams. I mean, a very similar one. I don't remember if the values were different, but then last year there was a full question on elasticity of demand. I think it was about 20 marks. You get it? So me like this, when I saw it, that was the first thing I chose, and it's very simple. Once you learn it, you'll be good to go. You get it? So let's get it when it comes. So let's start solving it. All right, so this is the table we have. So you have the period, and you have 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, up to 2007. Then you have the income, Do you get it? Then you have the quantity demanded of Z. Then you have the quantity demanded of A, the quantity demanded of W, price of Z, and price of A. You get it? And now they said A calculates their own price elasticity of demand for Z for the period 2003 to 2004 and interpret your answer. So they've given you a lot of them. You get it? Now we are going to start with the price elasticity of demand. So A, B, C, and D are under price elasticity of demand or own price elasticity of demand. So own price elasticity of demand and price elasticity of demand are the same. You get it? And just put this in your mind. The formula for the price elasticity of demand. So it represents price elasticity of demand as P E D. You get it? So this is the formula. So the formula is the change in quantity demanded over change in price. Then times. So now the change in price is like this. So change in price times old price. Then over old quantity. So this is the general formula for price elasticity of demand. You get it? So now we're about to calculate for price elasticity of demand. So they are just trying to see that when the price changed, what happened to quantity demanded? You get it? So they change the quantity demanded over the change in price. Then times the old price over old quantity. So don't forget to multiply it times the old price over old quantity. You get it? Now in economics, when we say change, it means new minus old. Don't forget that. When you say change, it means the new one minus the old one. You get it? So we can write this formula as, so you can say price elasticity of demand is equal to change in quantity demanded. So the new, the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded. That's the change in quantity demanded. I already told you that change is new minus old. Then over change in price. So new price minus old price. New price minus old price. Then times, so we maintain the old price over old quantity. So the change, I've just broken it down. So I just wanted you to know that the change is new minus old in economics. Anytime you hear change, so I'm saying the change in quantity demanded over change in price. So the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded over new price minus old price, then times old price over old quantity. It's as simple as that. So now we can start solving. So let's start with the A. So the A says calculates the own price elasticity of demand for Z for the period 2003 to 2004. Now put this in your mind. If they give you 2 years, let's say 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, the recent year, you get it, the one that is most recent is the new one. Then the older one is the old one. Do you get it? I mean, that makes sense because if, let's say, we have 2003, here they said 2003, 2004, which one is most recent? 2004 is most recent, so that becomes our new. Then 2003 is before 2004, so that becomes our old. I hope you get that. So now calculate the own price elasticity of demand for Z for the period 2003 to 2004. So for Z, into brackets 2003 to 2004. And I'm saying that 2004 will be our new because that's the most recent. Then the one before will be our old. Do you get it? So the most recent one is the new, then the one before will be the old. All right. So now the formula is the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded. So we look for the new quantity demanded for Z in 2004. Do you get it? Because I said the recent one is the new. You get it? So we are talking about Z. So we go to Z. We have Z here. Then this is the quantity demanded of Z. So we look at the new quantity demanded of Z in 2004. So where's the new quantity demanded of Z in 2004? This is 2004. You get it? And this is the quantity demanded of Z. So when we trace it, we are getting 38. So it means a new quantity demanded is 38 because that's the one in 2004. You get it? Then minus the old quantity demanded the previous year. So the previous year was 2003, and we are talking about Z. And this is 2003. So we look for the quantity demanded for Z in 2003. That's here. So 34. So 38 minus 34. Then over new price minus old price. Who are we talking about? Z. So the new price is the price in 2004. The old price is the price in 2003. You get it? So now the new price, which is the price in 2004 for Z, will be, so this is the price of Z. You get it? And this is 2004. So we trace it 2004 to the price of Z. We are getting 15. Then minus the old price. The old price is the previous year, so which is 2003. So the price for Z in 2003. So this is 2003. Here's the price of Z. You get it? So we trace it and we get 16. So minus 16. Then times old price. Old price is this one, 16. Remember here was old price minus old price. So old price will just be 16. Then old quantity demanded, that's the 34. That was the one at the top. So over 34. Do you get it? So we can simplify this. When we simplify this on the calculator, we should be getting negative 1.88. But I told you that under price elasticity of demand, this is price elasticity of demand, we don't have negative. Anytime you get a negative, you get the absolute value of it. Getting the absolute value means that you change it to positive. So this negative 1.88, we change it. So we take the absolute of it. So it becomes 1.88. Do you get it? And the question says that we should comment on your results. And I said from the beginning that anytime you have a price elasticity of demand, this is 1.88, it is greater than 1. And I said from the beginning that when you have a price elasticity of demand greater than 1, then it is elastic. Do you get it? It is elastic. So don't forget that. Because always, they'll never give you a question without you interpreting on your result. You get it? So now we got 1.88. It was initially negative 1.80, but you always take the positive. So the positive is 1.88, and since it is greater than 1, so you conclude that since 1.88 is greater than 1, then it is elastic. Do you get it? Now you're done with the E. Now let's go to the B. So we are using the same formula. The B says calculate the own price elasticity of demand for Z for the period 2005 to 2006. Okay, so let's clean. So we are still talking about Z, right? So Z. The question said for the period 2005 to 2006. So 2005 to 2006. And I told you that the most recent year is the new, then the one before is the old, you get it. And this is the formula, new quantity demanded minus old quantity demanded over new price minus old price for price elasticity of demand. So now what is the new quantity demanded? The new quantity demanded is the quantity for 2006, for Z in 2006. Why 2006 and not 2005? Because 2006 is more recent than 2005. 2005 comes before 2006, so 2005 will be the old, then 2006 will be the new. So now we look for the new quantity demanded, which is the quantity demanded for Z in 2006. So this is 2006, quantity demanded for Z, that is here. So when we trace it, we are getting 45. That's our new quantity demanded. Then minus our old quantity demanded. We are still talking about Z, and that's 2005. So quantity demanded for Z in 2005, this is 2005. Quantity demanded for Z is 40. So 45 minus 40. Then over new price minus old price. What is the price for Z in 2006? Price for Z in 2006. So 2006. Then price for Z. Price for Z is here. So when you trace it, you are getting 11. So over 11. So minus the old price for Z, and that's 2005. So 2005, the price for Z was 13, right? So minus 13. Then times old price over old quantity. So what's the old price? Which is the price for Z in 2005. You get it? And that one, we got it to be 13 because old price is here. So that's 13. The price for Z in 2005 is 13. Then over old quantity. And that's the one here. You get it? So it's like you're cross multiplying. The 13 always comes here. Then the 40 will come down. So the 30 will go up. The 40 will come down. You get it? So we can punch this on the calculator. So when you punch this on the calculator, you should be getting negative 0.8125. But I told you that always under price elasticity of demand, you always take the absolute value. In other words, you take the positive ones. You get it? So anytime you get a negative, you change to positive. So you take the absolute of this. So negative 0.8125 becomes positive. So positive 0.8125. So this is our final answer. And since this 0.8125 is less than 1, we say it is inelastic. So don't forget this one. If it's greater than 1, it is elastic. If it's less than 1, it is inelastic. So we just, when we are commenting on the result, we say therefore it is inelastic because the price elasticity of demand for Z, which is 2005 to 2006, is 0.8125, which is less than 1. You get it? All right. So you are done with a B. So yeah, this one was B. So I'm sure now you guys know how to go about the price elasticity of demand. Do you get it? So this is how you go about it. So just put to your mind the change in quantity demanded over the change in price times the old price over the old quantity. So whoever they are talking about, if it's Z, then you go and look for his own, the new price, and just put in your head the new ones are always the recent years, and the old one is the year before it. All right. So you are done with the B. The C2 is talking about price elasticity of demand for 2001 to 2002. So that once you look for the values, it's almost the same as what you did, just that the years are different. So I'm sure you guys can do that one. For D2, it's also talking about own price elasticity of demand for hay. So since C and D are talking about hay, so this time you're not going to use Z again. You're going to use hay. So you look at the quantity demanded for hay, then you look at the price for hay. Then you just do it the same thing as what you did. You get it? Now let's go to the E. The E says calculate the cross price elasticity of demand. So now let's do the E together since we've not spoken about cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, let me not clean the formula for the price elasticity of demand because it's similar to the cross price elasticity of demand. Now, when we say cross price elasticity of demand, just put in your head when you hear cross, they are talking about two products. You get it? So this time it's not about the change in price, the change in quantity demand of just one product. The first one, you're just talking about one product. So if let's say Milo is doing their records or something, they'll just check when we increase our price for Milo, how many people are going to stop buying. So it's just one product. But this time we are talking about cross price elasticity of demand, so it involves two products. Do you get it? Now, if let's say I go to the market and I want to buy, let's say, Coca-Cola, right? And I know it is 10 cedis, and now I go and they are saying it's let's say 30 cedis. I might decide not to buy Coca-Cola again. I might decide to buy maybe Bell Cola or any other cola drink because they are substitutes. You get it? Apart from that, if I want to buy Nido and a sachet of Nido is 5 cedis, and now I go and they are saying it's 8 cedis, I might decide to buy Cowbell because they are the same. So now this tells you that when the price of a commodity changes, it can affect some other commodities if they are substitutes. So I just want you to know that when the goods are substitutes, in other words, you can replace them. So instead of cowbell, you can buy needle and all that. If cowbell is not careful and they increase their price too much, people will stop buying from them and go to needle. You get it? Now, if cowbell is also there and needle decides to reduce their prices drastically, they'll be scared, even though it's not their company. Why? Because people will leave cowbell and go to them because it's now cheaper. You get it? So this is how price of substitutes can affect each other. You get it? Now, apart from that, we also have complementary goods. If let's say right now the price of fuel goes very, very, very high, like significantly high, you get it? People will stop buying cars. You get it? Because when they buy the car, it's not water that they are going to put inside. They are going to put fuel inside, and now the fuel is expensive. You get it? So it also tells you that if the goods are complementary goods, they can be used hand in hand. It can also affect the quantity demanded because you are going to use it together. So when you get this, you also have to get it. So now that's why we calculate for cross price elasticity of demand. So that right now, if let's say cowbell is there and they want to increase their price, don't increase it too much. Because if they increase it too much to a certain point, people will leave them and go to needle or mixi or even peak. You get it? So you have to check for all this. So now the formula for price elasticity of demand. So we represent it by X E D. You get it? So the formula is the change. So it's similar to this is the price elasticity of demand. And now we're talking about cross price elasticity of demand. The formula for cross price elasticity of demand is the change in quantity demanded for product A over the change in price of product B times the old price of product B, over the old quantity demanded of product A Do you get it? So it's just similar. This time, the only difference is that there are two different products. You get it? So the A and B are just representing two products. So it can be cowbell and needle. So let's see the change in quantity demanded of cowbell over the change in price of the other product, which is needle. Then times the old price of whatever you use for the price, it will be the same thing. So price, if it was the change in price of needle that you use, then it will be times the old price of needle. You get it? Then over the old quantity, whatever change in quantity you use. If you use cowbell, it will be the old quantity of cowbell. Do you get it? So now this is what you do. Now you can interchange them. You can make this B, you can make this A, you can make this A, and you can make this B. So you can just interchange them. You get it? But sometimes, let's assume this we had A and B. This were the letters they give to us. If let's say you want to calculate for cross price elasticity of demand, sometimes they won't give you the price for B. So assuming you wanted to calculate the cross price elasticity of demand and they've not given us the price for B, it means you can't use this formula because here is change in price of B, but you don't have the price. So you are going to rather use the quantity demanded of B, then you take the price of A. Do you get it? Because for A, you have the price. Do you get it? So that's how you go about it. All right, so now let's solve for which one talks about the cross price elasticity of demand. So that's E, right? Yeah, so E. So E says calculate the cross price elasticity of demand between Y and Z for the period 2002 to 2003. So the cross price elasticity of demand. So you use X, so something like a cross price elasticity of demand is equal to. So you're talking about the cross price elasticity of demand for Y and Z in the period 2002 to 2003. So for Y, let me write it here. So for Y and Z in the period 2003, sorry, 2002 to 2003. So that's for our E. So this is E, yeah. So this is what they're asking us. So they said we should find the cross price elasticity of demand for Y and Z in the period 2002 to 2003. So this one, I told you that you can. So now this is how you can do. You can use the change in quantity demanded for Y. When you use the change in quantity demanded for Y, you can't use the change in quantity demanded for Y and use the same change in price for Y as well. Once you use the change in quantity demanded for Y, you have to use the change in price for Z. If you can also decide to use the change in quantity demanded for Z, then it means you have to do it over the change in price for Y. So both of them have to be different because you are comparing. So you can't use the same. You get it. So this would be new quantity demanded of A, which is our way, right? Minus old quantity demanded of still V. Then over the price, which is our new price. So new price of, so the price, we use the different one. We've already used way for the quantity demanded. So price, you have to use the other one, which is Z. So new price of Z minus old price of Z. Then times the old price over the old quantity. The price, we used Z, so that has to be our old price. So old price of Z, then over the quantity, we used way, so old quantity of way. So if we want to break this down, so let's start with the top, the new quantity demanded of way minus the old quantity demanded of way. And it's 2002 and 2003. So 2003 is the most recent. So that will be our new. So the new quantity demanded of way is the quantity demanded of way in 2003. So this is 2003. Where is quantity demanded of way? So quantity demanded of way is here, 160. So our new quantity demanded of way is 160. Then minus old quantity demanded of what was the previous year? 2002. So the quantity demanded of way in 2002. So this is 2002. This quantity demanded of way. So when we trace it, you are getting 130. Then over new price of Z. So the new price of Z is the price of Z in 2003, which is the most recent year. This is 2003, and this is the price of Z. You get it. So when you trace it, you are getting 16. Then minus the old price of Z, which is the price of Z for the previous year, which is 2002. So 2002, price of Z, you are getting 18. You get it. Then we move on to the old price of Z over old quantity of whey. So times old price of Z over old quantity of whey. So the old price of Z is the price of Z for the previous year, which is 2002. And that one, we got it here as 18. Then the old quantity of whey, which is what is here, and that will be 130. So when we put this on the calculator, 160 minus 130 over 60 minus 18 times 18 over 130. We should be getting negative 2.07. And I forgot to mention something. Now, when we are dealing with cross price elasticity of demand, you can get two types of answers. Either you get a negative or a positive. Now, for this one, you don't take the absolute value. So if you get a negative, it remains negative. You get it. It's only for the price elasticity of demand. The own price elasticity of demand, that's the one that you take the absolute, which is the positive. But for cross price elasticity of demand, when you get a negative, don't change it to positive. If you change it positive, your answer will be wrong. You get it? So this one like this, we got a negative. Now, when you get a negative, it means the two goods, which is the whey and Z here, are complements. You get it? When you get a negative, you conclude. They say you should comment on your results. So this one, if you are commenting, you can say since cross price elasticity of demand was negative, then it implies that whey and Z are complements. You get it? So when you get a negative for cross price elasticity of demand, it is a complement. When you get a positive, it is a substitute. Don't forget, negative complement, positive is a substitute. All right, so now let's take another one under the cross price elasticity of demand. All right, so the one we just did was talking about whey and Z. So let's do for each. So the rest of them, the E, F, and all that, I'm sure you guys can solve it. It's the same process. The only thing you have to know that when you get a negative, it's a complement. When you get a positive, it's a substitute. You get it? So now for H, it says that calculate the cross price elasticity of demand between whey and hay for the period 2006 to 2007. All right. So the cross price elasticity of demand for whey and hay in 2006 and 2007. So we change it. So it's no more Z, but hay. So whey and hay. Then they said 2006 and 2007, right? So 2006, 2007. So you change here to 6. So we change here to 6, then here will be 7. Because they said 2006 and 2007. All right. Now it means this one we are going to deal with whey and hay. So it's either we take the quantity demanded for whey and we take the price for hay, or we take the quantity demanded for hay, then we take the price for whey. But for whey, you realize that they didn't give us the price for whey. You get it? They give us the price for Z, they give us the price for hay, but they didn't give us the price for whey. Get it? So we have to take the quantity demanded for whey. Because it's either we take the quantity demanded for whey or we take the price for whey. And since they didn't give us the price for whey, we have to take the quantity demanded for whey. So this would be new quantity demanded of whey minus the old quantity demanded of whey. You get it? So that one will still be the same. But now we are no more talking about Z, we are talking about hay. So we change this to hay. Then we change this to hay as well. Then this one will still be whey, but here will be hay. So the first one was Z, and this one is hay. So it's just the same thing. You get it? So now we look for the new quantity demanded of whey, and the recent year is 2007. So the quantity demanded of whey in 2007. This is 2007. So quantity demanded of whey, this quantity demanded of whey in 2007, which is the last one, that is 240. It's equal to 240. Then minus the old quantity demanded of whey, which is the quantity demanded of whey for the previous year, which is 2006. So quantity demanded of whey in 2006, which is here, and we are getting 210. Then over new price of hay. The new price of hay is the price of hay in the recent year, which is 2007. So price of hay, that's the last one, and 2007 is here, so we are getting 46. Then minus the old price of hay, which is the price of hay in the previous year, which is 2006. So this is price of hay, and this 2006, the previous one, the last batch one. So that is 42. Then times old price of hay, that's the same 42 here. Then the old quantity of whey, that's the same 210 here. So always the one that is here, just bring it here. The one that is here, just bring it here. It's like across most lines. Do you get it? So now when we solve this on the calculator, this one is H, not E. Yeah, so this one is H. So when you solve this on the calculator, we should be getting 1.5. Yes, positive 1.5. You didn't get a negative. And I told you that when you get a negative, they are complements, but when you get a positive, they are substitutes. So since we got 1.5, positive 1.5, you can conclude that therefore they are substitutes. So that's how you comment on your results. Okay, so we are done with the cross price elasticity of demand. So this is how you go about it. So always just put to your head negative for complements, positive for substitutes. You get it? All right, now you're going to move on to the last one, which is the income elasticity of demand. Now, okay, let me clean the board before I explain it. All right, so as I said, you're going to move on to income elasticity of demand. Now, when we talk about income elasticity of demand, now generally, when anyone becomes richer, if let's say me like this, I become richer, you will know there are some things that I'll stop buying. Something like Gary, I won't buy it again. There are even you yourself, there are some things, if it's structure that you've been picking, you stop picking it. You start picking a boat, or if you even become so rich, you start buying a car and all that, you get it. So when your income increases, there are some things that you stop buying and there are some things that you start buying. And also, if let's say you have money and because of an emergency or something, your money reduces, there are some things that you start buying. So maybe first you were eating so rich, now you start buying Gary and some other things. Do you get it? So now income elasticity of demand shows you how quantity demanded changes when the income of the consumer changes. Do you get it? So now if people become richer, how does it affect quantity demanded? If people become poorer, how does it affect quantity demand? You get it? And under income elasticity of demand, we are going to talk about two types of goods: normal goods and inferior goods. So if your income elasticity of demand is greater than 0, we say it is a normal good. Normal good. But if your income elasticity of demand is less than 0, we say it is an inferior good. So just put in your mind, after we solve for the income elasticity of demand, if you get any answer that is greater than 0, then you conclude that. So when you're commenting on your result, therefore it's a normal good. But if you get anything less than 0, then conclude that it's an inferior good. Now, what is a normal good? Normal goods are goods that people start buying when their money increases. You get it? So maybe things like cars and all that. Those are normal goods. But inferior goods are goods that people buy when their income reduces. You get it? So things like maybe Gary, public transport and all those things, you get it. So those are inferior goods. So now if you get anything greater than 0, it's a normal good. If you get anything less than 0, it's an inferior good. And the formula for the income elasticity of demand is the change in quantity demanded over the change in income times old income over old quantity demanded. All right, so this is the formula for the income elasticity of demand. So the change in quantity demanded over the change in income times old income over old quantity demanded. And I already told you that change is new minus old. So the new quantity demanded minus the old quantity demanded over new income minus old income times old income over old quantity demanded. Do you get it? So that's how you go about it. So you can break this down to be change in quantity demanded. So new quantity demanded minus old quantity demanded, then over new income, this change in income, so new minus old, so new income minus old income, then times old income over old quantity demanded. So now that we've got a formula, we can just start solving it. So let's look at which one talks about income elasticity of demand. So let's look at the I. So the I says that calculate the income elasticity of demand for Z for the period 2003 to 2004 and interpret your answer. All right, so income elasticity of demand for Z in 2003 and 2004. So income elasticity of demand for Z in 2003, 2004. You get it? So this is what the question is asking. That's I, right? Yes. Let me make this I. So for this one, since you are talking about Z, so this one you also talk about only one commodity. So since you are talking about Z, so the new quantity demanded for Z, that's the one for the recent year, which is 2004. So the quantity demanded for Z in 2004, this 2004, then quantity demanded of Z is here. So that's 38. Then minus the old quantity demanded. That's for the previous year. So the quantity demanded for Z in 2003. 2003, quantity demanded of Z, we got 34. So minus 34. Then over new income minus old income. So the income of the recent year, which is 2004, for Z, we are talking about Z. So the recent year, which is the new income, is 2004. So the income and the income for all of them are the same. You see, they didn't give you income for Z, income for his. So the income, they are all the same. So the income, the new income, which is 2004, is 1,500. That's the one here. So 1,500 minus the one in 2003, which is the previous year, which is 1,400. Then times old income. Old income is the one here. So 1,400. Then over old quantity demanded, that's the one here. So 34. So you can also check it from the table. So we can punch all this on the calculator. Now when you punch on the calculator, you should be getting 1.6, right? 1.647. And this is a positive figure. 1.647 is positive and it's greater than 0. Getting, I said anytime you are getting anything greater than 0, then you conclude that it is a normal good. If you get anything greater than 0, you conclude that it's a normal good. Assuming you got negative 1.647 or anything less than 0, then we would have concluded that it's an inferior good. But since 1.647 is greater than 0, then conclude that it is a normal good. Now let's take one last one, then we call it a day. All right, so let's take K. So K says you should calculate the income elasticity of demand for hay for the period 2002 and 2003 and interpret your answer. So let's take for K. So let me clean this part. So for K, it says the income elasticity of demand for hay. So K, income elasticity of demand for hay in the year what? 2002 and 2003. So 2002, 2003. You get it. So now we are going to use the same formula. So 2003 is our new, 2002 is our old. So our quantity demanded for hay in 2003 is, so 2003 quantity demanded for hay, we are getting 36. So 36, that's our new quantity demanded, then minus our old quantity demanded, which is the one for the previous year, which is 2002 for hay. So the quantity demanded for hay in 2002 is 2002. Quantity demanded for hay is 42. So 42. Then over the new income. So the income, which is the one for 2003. So 2003, the income was 1,400. That one is the same for all. So 1,400. Then minus old income. The old income is the previous year. So that's 2002. So 1,200. Then times old income. That's the one you just used, 1,200. Then over old quantity demanded, that's the 42. So 42. So you can punch this on the calculator. When you punch on the calculator, you should be getting negative 0.857. So since you got negative 0.857, negative 0.857 is less than 0. And I tell you that anytime you get anything less than 0, then you conclude that it's an inferior good. If it's greater than 0, you conclude that it is a normal good. But since this one is less than 0, which is negative 0.857, then you conclude that it's an inferior good. You get it. So anytime they give you a question on income elasticity of demand, this is how you go about it. So those are the three types that they can ask: price elasticity of demand, cross price elasticity of demand, and income elasticity of demand. So if you are able to go through all of this, it will help you a lot. This question can come for as high as 20 marks in the exam. You get it. So I hope you guys have understood everything we've done today. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. See you in the next video.